I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet. If you don't know who I am, think of Saffron Olive, but a bit better looking with a better beard and a dirtier mouth. Yes! Today's video is going to be a bit shorter than my normal stuff that I put out on the Saturdays and the Fridays because I just haven't had time to do a longer video. People believe that Modern Horizons didn't provide enough toys for modern players to play with. The running joke is that it is Commander Horizons, which is quite literally complete and utter fucking horseshit when you see the amount of people running around casting these new Horizon cards in Modern. The most degenerate and disgusting deck to come out of the new cards is Hogaak Bridgevine. Bridgevine has been around for a while, a powerful yet possibly weaker cousin to Dredge in many ways. It looked to utilise Vengevines and bridges from below to create insurmountable pressure very early on from the graveyard. But the deck was a flash in the pan for the most part, occasionally rising in favour before people realised it was just a shitter version of Dredge. Well, that was before we got Carrion Feeder, Altar of Dementia and Hogaak the Broken One. Who would have thought a card with Delve on it could be broken? It isn't like we knew Delve was broken or that magic cards that cost 0 mana are fucking batshit crazy. Hogaak was the sleeper of the set. A few people thought the card would be good, but the majority didn't realise it at all. Of course, some cunt down your local LGS is going to pretend that he knew ahead of the hype and bought them all up early, because some people are just like that. The deck can build a huge board presence through sacrificing creatures to Altar and Feeder, self-milling bridges into the graveyard and making lots of zombies and recurring Vengevines, and murdering people by moving into the red zone and beating their tits off. Or, more interestingly, it can combo kill people by milling yourself initially and eventually milling your opponent out with a near infinite amount of power on board thanks to the abuse of Bridge from Below and Vengevine and such. This allows the deck to have a kill that doesn't involve it having to untap, have haste, or it can even get past an ensnaring bridge. In essence, you just need 2 bridges in your graveyard, 2 creatures in play to cast Hogaak, and an Altar in play as well. That might sound like a lot of setup and a lot of hoops to jump through, but it really isn't when each piece of this machine can feed the other. There are moving parts, but the synergy is strong with this one. The best way to show the deck doing what it does is to show it in motion, so let's play some fucking games. Don't forget, Channel Fireball are the primary sponsor of the channel and make this all possible. If you are signing up for a GP in the next year, make sure you use the code KENOBI at the checkout to tell them that I sent you. It's not a discount code unfortunately, but it does help support the channel. My patrons from Patreon are a huge support network for me too and help to keep the lights on. If you want to support the channel, then the Patreon link is in the description below. Oh, and you got a couple of days to pick up my newest t-shirt, my newest merch. It's on sale for another couple of days at the most. The Everpress link is in the description below. Pick it up now, because once it's gone, it is gone. But it's a good way to support the channel and get yourself some physical merchandise. Right, let's play some fucking games. We've mulliganed a very bad 7 into a weak 6. We get wished a good morning by our opponent. Is it, mate? Is it? Is it a good morning? Well, yeah, actually it has been. We scry Faithless looting to the top of our library. Faithless, as always, is a linchpin of the deck and really serves to lubricate the engine for these graveyard-based decks. And it might be up for getting bad at some point, because it always makes degenerate decks work. I changed songs on Spotify, forget what the fuck I was doing, crack my fetch in end step absent-mindedly, and shuffle away the scried Faithless looting. Magic is hard. We make a land drop and play a feeder and feel a little bit silly about all this. We play a Gravecrawler out too and pass back to our opponent. Our opponent fetches and shocks and plays another fetch. I can only assume they either want to keep counter magic up or their Death Shadow from all the shocking. We play an Altar and it resolves. Fetch, shock, fetch, shock from our opponent, and out comes a Death Shadow, or 2. We draw a Faithless looting, which is usually super good here. We ditch one of our additional altars and a bridge from below to the graveyard. Then we start to try and go off. I sack a Gravecrawler to our altar, Hail Satan, to mill ourselves for 2 and create a zombie off the bridge from below in the graveyard. I actually think casting Hogaak first might have been considerably better here, but we were just 1 mana short with the Delve. We recast the Gravecrawler off of our black mana available because we control a Zombo in play. We then cast a Hogaak using 2 of our creatures to convoke him and dredging away 5 cards from the yard. We sack off the tapped Gravecrawler to our altar, Hail Satan, and mill ourselves again, netting 1 zombie from the bridge trigger. We mill a Vengevine to the graveyard. I sacrifice our first Hogaak to our Altar of Dementia, Hail Satan, to mill ourselves for 8. We recast Hogaak using 2 zombies to convoke and delving away 5 useless cards. We mill ourselves again, but this time for 8. Hail Satan! I sack off a lot of tapped zombos to Altar to dig deeper for a bridge. Hail Satan! We find it and recast Hogaak. He's back. We use him again to mill our opponent with the Altar. Hail, Satan! We can now go infinite, essentially, kinda, almost, maybe, by milling our opponent with each Hogaak sack, generating multiple zombies with each sack because of the multiple bridges in the graveyard. Once you run out of delve food to keep recasting Hogaak to mill them for integers of 8, we just sack all the zombies and target them with those as well, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. The reason I'm again explaining this to you instead of just showing you is because our opponent gave up. Got him. It is at this time in the sideboarding that you get to play the sideboard guessing game. You have to guess whether they're going to have enchantments like Rest in Peace and Leyline, or they're going to have artifacts like Cage and Relic, and that will determine whether you need Wismares or Ingot Chewers out of your sideboard. Both of these get around Chalice of the Void on 1, Spell Pierce, and trigger Bridge from below themselves when convoked, and they can also be milled in response to the evoke trigger with your altar in play as well. And Shenanigans is just another way to get around Chalice that we can get back out of our graveyard once milled. We guess that they will be playing artifacts in blue-black and fight against Cages and Relics this time around with our sideboard choices. Looks like I guessed very, very, very wrong. Our game plan here is for them to draw 0 creatures and us to just kind of stumble towards a win. You know, that time I stumbled into a bathroom to see a good friend of mine being sucked off by a clown. Yeah, it's unlikely, but it can happen to the best of us at the worst of times. We get all our creatures systematically removed and we go to game 3. They drop a Leyline in pre-game effects and we land everyone's third favourite Wisp. Flicker Wisp is obviously number 1, a Whisper Gold Bar at number 2, but it's Wisp Merit number 3. This is it, lads. We're off to the proverbial races. We get our first creature, a Bloodghast, pathed. We play an altar and we play a Gravecrawler. They thought scour at us, milling a Vengevine. That seems slightly suspicious and at first glance very suboptimal. You don't mill the self-mill deck. Then we find out that they're Esper because sometimes 4 Leylines just isn't enough and they play a Rest in Peace. Yeah. Ranger, Captain of Eos. This is Commander Horizons, don't forget. There's not a single modern card here. Not one. Not any of the cards in our deck or their deck or all the other people playing these fucking cards. God, that joke fucks me off. And then, yeah, we're dead. Seems like the format has adjusted. Or some of us like to realistically call it warped to accommodate this new graveyard deck. It was the hot topic for a few days online. Yeah, Dredgevine struggles against multiple copies of Rip or Leyline. Oh look, Eldamu's cool. It's a Modern Horizons card. Of course, that's designed for Commander, but you can play it in Modern. Ugh. We turn 4 combo kill them. Because, don't forget kids, let's keep Stoneforge Mystic Band in Modern. In game 2, how dare they combo off on turn 3? How very fucking dare they? But this is Modern for a large portion of players. It's the space where you just have to control the gears in your stick drive drag racer to achieve optimum speed and then fuck whatever the other races are doing, right? Perhaps this is just where this stuff should exist. Perhaps it's the format for this. Perhaps I'm the wrong one for... Hang on, fuck! Is that a Scavenging Goo? By the way, Scavenging Goo looks a bit like a horsecock. I've mentioned it before, I just want to mention it again. And it's gobbling up my entire yard with all that green mana. I don't think I can beat that. Seriously, I can't even hope for an Necrotic Wound to be drawn, because they'll just eat the creatures in response, so, yeah. I accidentally submitted a 61 card special because Magic is hard. This hand has anti-whip tech, but ultimately that doesn't seem like enough. I ship it away, and this'll have to do, pig. They also go to 6, which is nice. Stitcher puts both of our fair zombie cards in the graveyard, which could be described as sub-optimal. They play a Rest in Peace, and we never ever recover. Should have kept the 7 with the Wismare, right? I guess? Tell me in the comment section below, should I just kept that 7? I don't know. And now, a message from our sponsors. Do you want to play a format where each game lasts no more than 10 turns total, shared between both players? Then Modern is the format for you! Pick up your Modern starter set today, including a bag of salt for when your linear strategy comes up trumps, a paper F6 button when your opponent's comboing off and you want to show some passive-aggressive disdain. Order now and you get a... Wait, what the fuck did you just say to me? What the fuck did you just say to me? You want to play Stoneforge Mystic? You sick fuck! Get the fuck out of my format! Modern is pure, wholesome, degenerate fun where you don't want to pay attention to what your opponent's doing. You want to play a white card that tutors for equipment? Are you insane? Fuck off back to Legacy, you sick, sick, sick pervert. Go on, get out. And now, back to our scheduled programming. We'll lose to another Esper Death Shadow player because both Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace. Holy shit, is this normal? Is this what the format is like now, or am I just criminally unlucky? Fuck. Oh, and a big shout out to Soriano, though. A fan of the channel and a good sport. The games are fun. Fun fact, I didn't actually sideboard at all in game 2. The only game that I won out of the 3, because I timed out sideboarding, changing my Discord server's animated logo to this. But then some people said they found it a bit too weird. I don't know why, I quite like it. Anyway, let's give it one more shot. Our opponent is Tron, who put Vengevine and Bloodghast into the bin thanks to our faithless looting and cast 2 1-drops on turn 2. They dismembered the Vengevine to save a little bit of life and set us back, so instead we decided to just make an 8/8 trample on turn 2 instead, which means we go to pass the turn back with 12 power in play. They haven't got 2 Tron lands, they're not untapping to a Khan, and they just scoop it up. Yeah, 8/8 tramplers, they're pretty good. Game 2 chance on 1 is actually one of the best ways to combat our deck initially, but you know what my strange uncle that smells like ham says? Better lucky than good. We evoke an Overture, which is pure value here, as we have a bridge in the bin from our turn 1 faithless looting. I'm hoping they will just pop their crypt in response to this to allow us to develop our game plan and further and not have to play conservatively. And they did. Like the fly, they've flown into my web, my trap. I am the fucking spider. We play a neonate, activate it, and ditch the bridge. Fun fact, I didn't know until the beginning of this week that when you ditch a bridge to a neonate, you still get a zombie because of the way in which it is worded. It's because of the order. Sick. Then they just naturally Tron, because of course they fucking do. Warping Well is cast, a Scion is made, and they sack it immediately to pop our only bridge. The bastard. The clever bastard. And a Ballista on 3, which is fucking frustrating because that's going to kill a lot of our creatures. We cast a Gravecrawler and then a Crypt Breaker. We need to overload this Walking Ballista or to get to be able to cast a Hogaak, essentially. With a Breaker on the stack, they don't want us drawing cards, so they ping and kill the zombie token. Now they can't kill both my Gravecrawler and my Crypt Breaker without hitting another land drop and dumping all their mana into the Ballista. Otherwise the Ballista dies and it's not a very good source of disruption going forward. And they miss a land drop, place a counter on the Walking Ballista on attack, we take it to the face. They then kill our Breaker. Sadness. We draw an altar, cast it and attack for 2, they take it. They miss a land drop, charge up the Ballista and attack. I'm kind of terrified of what is in hand if they aren't casting spells with this much mana. Is it just 4 copies of Ugin? We draw and play an Overture, killing the Ballista with the evoke trigger on the stack. We mill ourselves with the altar. Hail, what are you? They do nothing. We draw a faithless looting, we ditch an altar on a Hogaak. They do nothing. Is their hand going to be like 6 fucking copies of Ugin? That's mad. We draw a Ghast, play it, sack it to self-mill. Hail, Satan! Fetch a land, recur it, sack it again. And then you slay it. Then we have to pass back. They make a Banner Skull. Oh, Stoneforge, I miss you. We untap, mill again, hit nothing, pass back. Oh yeah, sorry. Hail, Satan! They slap us to 2 life. Oh boy, this is it. This is 5p fucking territory, boys and girls, and everyone betwixt. Can we do it? We draw a land, we play it, bring back Bloodghast, sack it to the altar. Hail, Satan! We find a faithless looting in our bin, which allows us to ditch this altar in hand for a Gravecrawler. We cast the Crawler, and we cast another Crawler out of the yard. This triggers and makes 4 Vengevines, which can block this Banner Skull. But instead of the pedestrian shit like attacking and blocking, we just go off and kill them with a combo. Hail, Satan! Success! Ultimately, the deck is absurdly powerful and pretty obnoxious. Without several pieces of hate, you often just die to this deck. Fighting through 1 piece of hate is usually easy enough as well. With enough hate being played in the format, it could make the deck less viable. Like the old Axion says, Affinity is only at its best when people aren't prepared for it, so is it similar to Affinity in that way? I feel the deck's actually rather format warping though, because if you're not playing enough Graveyard Hate, you just die to it. And that's not really healthy for a format. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Did you enjoy the video? Are you enjoying this deck? Are you scared of it? Are you sick of it? Do you want the fucking thing banned? If so, what card would you ban? Or do you think things will even out over time? If so, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button because it helps out a fucking lot. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications as well. I'm actually flying out to America on Monday, so my content next week's going to be a bit more spread out and a little bit less consistent. But I'll be at GP Seattle next weekend, so if you're at Seattle, come and say hello. There's links in the description to my Patreon and to my Twitch channel, so go follow me over there, and to my Twitter, so go follow me over there. And don't forget to pick up a PleasantKenobi t-shirt if you get a chance. In the meantime, don't forget to clean your nails after you fingered yourself, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ta for now.